Welcome back to Brush Up Your Game. Today, the Masochist. And I've struggled trying to make a review of this. The Masochist is a power I think in my 300 or so games of Cosmic, I have seen the Masochist pull off a win once. And it takes tech to really make it shine. But the Masochist tries to lose their own ships. Well, really, the Masochist has the power to hurt itself. At the start of any player's regroup phase, before the offense retrieves the ship from the warp, use this power to win the game. If you have lost all of your ships, lost ships include those in the warp, those removed from the game, and those captured by other players. Now, that alone is the problem, that it has a use and thus can be cosmic zapped, because you go to all the hard work of losing everything, and then you don't win, because somebody saves cosmic zap and hurts you. But let's continue. You do not lose this power because of having too few home colonies, and you may still win the game via the normal manner. And yes, that is probably the best defense, the best offense you have as the Masochist. So, okay, what's your play as the Masochist? Really, your play is ally every single time you have an invite. Send 4. All the time. Because you don't care. If you win, great, you get more cards. If you lose, you just got 4 ships in the warp. You are closer to your win condition. Either way, you're closer to your win condition. If you have a defense invite, which a lot of times the defense will say, hey, I'll take anybody. That's your cue, send 4. You're good. You want to avoid allying with like an observer who says, hey, allies, you're safe. No, you don't want any part of that. You want the risk. You kind of want to lose. You're okay if you win on offense, right? That helps. But no, ultimately, you want to lose. You want as few turns as possible because you want to take your ships out of the warp as few times as you can. You want a card zap saved to cancel out Mobius tubes. You do not want all of those ships coming back to you. Anytime you can take compensation, you want to pull cards from other players' hands, and you want to try to grab defender reward cards, because if you pull rifts, your ships are blowing up, or the rift is blowing up and you're sending ships to the warp. Oh well, that just gets you closer. It's not an easy power to play. I mean, maybe it seems straightforward, but it's really tough to lose 20 ships because other players are going to stop inviting you. They'll say, I'll take anyone except Masochist. And that's the trade-off. You are going to find yourself needing to sacrifice 4 ships on offense, and you're going to run out of bad cards very quickly. That's the trade-off, is you only have so many bad cards in your hand. That's why it's okay to win the occasional defensive alliance, because you get more cards. See, if you become completely predictable in that you're only trying to lose, then people are going to stop inviting you. Now, one of the other tricks you have is, as you get more cards, play those reinforcements to the other side so that you lose. It's mean, but everybody knows what they're getting when they invite the Masochist. At least they should. All right, flare time. Wild. During any regroup phase, you may choose a player other than the offense. That player retrieves the ship from the warp instead of the offense. You may not use this flare if the offense's ships are all in the warp or removed from the game, right? Because they have to have at least one ship. I like the flare. I like that wild. I think it's a good ability. It it can be really really harsh in that I have 10 of my ships in the warp. I was really counting on that extra ship coming back to me so I could have enough. And then this gets played, and it's like, oh well, I guess they're getting a ship back. Yeah, it's just kind of annoying. But yeah, the super. During each of your regroup phases, you may choose one of your ships in the warp and remove it from the game instead of retrieving it as usual. That's a very useful super for Masochist. That is a super flare that I wish was actually built into the Masochist power, because I think that would not be everything to help Masochist, but it would be a good start. Now, all of this is under the caveat of Masochist does have an alternate timeline alien in Odyssey. So there are the power was addressed. Now, is it perfect? No. By no means. But Masochist can be fun to play. It's to me it is fun, it's enjoyable to have such a different win condition than everybody else. Masochist plays into this. TikTok plays into this. Genius plays into this. Ace just feels weird. Don't get me wrong. I like Ace, but it still feels weird. This feels weird as well. But anywho, we'll end with this. The masochists suffer from a neurological disorder where they derive pleasure from self-flagellation. However, some are beginning to wonder if it's really a religious ritual to bring forth their dominance in their universe, in the universe. Well, yeah. And enough said about that. Anywho, thank you all for watching. Till next time, keep brushing up your game. Take care.